Namaste. As per Ayurveda, there are four critical elements that a couple needs to keep in mind while planning for a healthy conception. The first and very important element is that of ritu. Ritu literally means season. With respect to the time of conception, ritu is interpreted in two ways here. The first and very important aspect is that of the fertile period of a woman's menstrual cycle. We all know that during the 28-day or whatever period a menstrual cycle is, there is only once that one of the ovaries releases an egg. If this window is missed, then conception becomes difficult, which is why tracking one's cycle, knowing that the cycle is healthy, and planning to conceive during the most fertile window of the menstrual cycle plays a very important role in healthy and successful conception. Ayurveda specifically recommends that mating between the 12th to 14th day of the menstrual cycle will give the best results. This is considering the fact that an average menstrual cycle will be up to 28 days, which is why between the 12 to 14 days is considered the most fertile period. Nature has our back, which is why a woman also feels like mating the most during her fertile window. It would help couples immensely to have this information and keep trying for conception during this period. The other aspect of ritu is equally important. Ayurveda says that the best time for conception is the month of winter. This is because the human body is at its most strong, immunity-wise also, during the winter months. On the contrary, the monsoon time is when the human body is most susceptible or vulnerable to infections and illness. Look around you. We are currently in the monsoon phase, and almost everybody either is nursing somebody at home or knows somebody who is battling some form of illness or infection right now. Which is why Ayurveda recommends to avoid mating for conception during the months of monsoon and give importance to the period of winter, so that the conception is successful, the gestation is smooth, and you can ensure a healthier baby that way. Make sure you keep this in mind while planning for conception. The second and very important element while planning for a healthy conception refers to kshetra. Kshetra can also be interpreted as soil or location. Let's understand this from the anatomical point of view. Kshetra here refers to a woman's uterus. The uterus is where the baby is going to be housed for 9 months. It is also called as garbhashay. This is the first home of the uterus. Now imagine yourself looking for a new home. Before you enter that home, you make sure there is a Grah Shanti Pravesh happening. You make sure there is some puja, some havan happening. You make sure the place is absolutely clean and pure. The purity is important because that is how you want to make a new beginning. Similarly, before you conceive, it is important that your uterus, your whole reproductive system is clean and pure. This will ensure that it has the right vibrations, it has the strength and the stamina to provide that home, that shelter to your baby for those 9 months. Which is why Ayurveda recommends a lot of purification and cleansing practices at the physical, mental and emotional level, so that a mother is ready in every way, including her body, her mind and her emotional quotient, to be able to play the role of the Janani. Please keep this in mind and make sure you plan in advance. Ayurveda recommends anything between 3 months to 12 months before actually conceiving, so that you are in the right frame of mind, in a strong body, before you welcome your baby into your garbhashay and then into this world. The third of the 4 important elements for a healthy conception is called ambu. Ambu refers to water as well as nutrition. And we do know that our body needs both food and water for a variety of purposes, including nurturing us. When a woman wants to conceive, it is very important that she is physically very healthy. This will ensure that she passes on the right nutrition to her child as well, which of course is going to build the child's body, mind and intellect as well. Ambu is important because a lot of times we may not be aware of what are the right things to be eaten, what are the things to be avoided, and how exactly we should be consuming so that we complete the whole cycle of digestion. Simply taking in food does not ensure its absorption or assimilation, which is why nutrition is extremely critical. a gynecologist before conceiving, and there are high chances that you will be asked to take a few tests to make sure that you're not deficient in any of the micronutrients. You will also be prescribed a folic acid tablet. These are important because these play critical roles in the formation of the baby. In case of any deficiency, there are some deficiencies that will be passed on to the child. In case of deficiency, the child may not develop the right way. There might be some deformity that we may only be left to regret with for the rest of our lives. It is therefore important that a woman takes utmost care of her nutrition. This will also ensure that her egg, the ovum that is released by the ovary, is of a good quality. Let us not make the mistake of thinking that it is only the woman whose nutrition matters here. Remember that the 50% of the fertilized egg includes the sperm, which is why it is important that men also take very good care of their nourishment. One of the major causes of rising infertility amongst men is due to poor nutrition, also because of stress. Stress plays havoc with our body. It affects our gut so badly that even if we eat right, we eat the choicest of things, we eat the most nutritious food, we may not be able to assimilate it well. So apart from managing stress, it is important that men also play nutrition equally important role. By doing this, they will also make sure that the sperm is of the right quality. They have the strength to make sure they can make the journey up to the fallopian tube and fertilize the egg. Without this, conception is not possible. We all know what happens when we are not exactly in the pink of health. We are more susceptible to infections. It is easier to fall ill with changing seasons. And if we do get ill, even with medication, we may take a longer time to recover. I'm sure you do not want that kind of a garbhashay, that kind of a seed for your newborn. So make sure you pay attention to ambu and start taking better care of your nutrition before you conceive. The last and one of the most important elements for a healthy conception is obviously the beej or the seed. The seed, of course, refers to the woman's ovum or egg and the man's sperm. Good quality of both these seeds is critical to having a healthy conception. You may have heard of instances where a woman conceives but she loses the baby. There can be natural miscarriages due to a variety of reasons. One of those reasons could also be because of the quality of the sperm and ovum. We need to understand, like I said in the first part of this series, that nature has our back. If nature thinks that one has conceived a fetus, conceived a baby who is not going to be healthy in the long run, or the garbhashay is such that it may not be able to sustain the pregnancy, or if the nutrition is inadequate, or the timing is not right, then because nature is so careful and so responsible about these things, it may automatically lead to a natural miscarriage. To avoid these things, it is important to keep all four elements in mind. Beej is something that is so important. It is the building block from which a new life comes into force. That is why we need to understand the concept of sapta dhatu also. We need to understand how important nourishment or nutrition is. It is through the food we eat that our whole body is built. Every cell of the body is responsible for the way we operate in this world. And the building block of every cell is ambu or nutrition. When we have the right nutrition, we are building each and every tissue, each and every organ, each and every system of the body. It is only when the unison of these things happen, when there is harmony between all these elements, that our seed is going to get the same potency and the strength with which it can bring a new life into this world. So pay attention to all four elements. To understand Sapta Dhatu in better, make sure you watch our YouTube video on secrets for a healthy conception. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you have any questions or would like to know more, please leave us a comment in the box. Thank you.